following podcast is intended to be entertainment and a tad educational. Do not take anything we say to heart. We are not comedians but plan to laugh with us or at us. If you disagree with what we have to say, make sure to bring it up in the comments so we can engage views with your tears. Enjoy the show.
Welcome in, y'all. A little bit different today. Let me get Jordan pulled up.
What's up?
Him and Kinley are down at the beach, spending some time down there with some friends, and didn't bring us with them, so we're a little salty about it.
Yeah,
They've got the real
rude.
salt life. But yeah, welcome in, Adrenaline Junkies podcast. Got a special guest with us on the end. See if she's got any input. Whoa, there's Kinley. You scared me.
Sorry.
You changed your name on there, Jordan.
Yeah, I didn't know if she was going to be on here or not. I'll have to.
Yesterday it was Queen KK and the Has Been or something like that. Or
That's
washed up.
Washed up has been.
Yeah, something like that.
But yeah, it's been an exciting couple of weeks. We'll run through some of our sponsors real quick. Give them a big thank you. We have picked up one more since we saw you guys last. We're really appreciative of him. We'll get to them in a second. First off, I want to thank Jess and Archie Campbell. That was our first sponsor that we picked up. Jared's mom and future stepdad. They've always been supportive of us, and we definitely appreciate having them. We got Paca Punch Creations, Carla Turchek, Carla Woodward. She does some of our design work, always behind the scenes, being a big cheerleader. So if you need any Derby
related items
Yeah.
or designs.
she does the freshies as well, all kinds of different stuff. So make sure and check her out. Who we got next? TNT. Yep. That's the one I was trying to click on. TNT Fab, my buddy Tyler, or our buddies, Tyler. He does all kinds of metal work, derby parts, radiator guards, taco plates, bumper kits, wheel centers. He's coming out with new stuff all the time.
Speaking of, he's got the new Watson conversion setups, and I've seen a handful of those, and it looks very well. I mean, I like I said, if I hadn't bought one a couple weeks before he put his out, I know I would have had his in my hands, But he's definitely the quality of work, and he's constantly coming on something new. So definitely keep an eye on him. His Facebook page, he's got a lot of cool stuff, and price wise, he's very compatible with competable with everyone else.
If not better.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So pretty exciting seeing that business coming up and being there to support us. So we're definitely going to support him. I'm not sure if he'll be at Wicked. He was last time he was down there running around. So if you guys need contact with him, you can get with us or search his Facebook page. He's even got a website. And we got Babbs Custom Signs. That's who we're partnering with to do our roof sign and door wraps. I don't know about you guys.
Them at Freedom Hall, they turned out very, very slick.
Yep. And it was so cool to me. The three that he did, they all had our logo on them.
Yeah, built into the wraps and everything.
Didn't tell us that they were putting our logo on their wraps.
Yeah.
Me walking up and seeing it in their colors, but still representing us. It was probably one of my favorite parts of the whole weekend. The Walton brothers and Sean doing that was so cool. We appreciate you guys doing that and supporting local and helping those that help the Derby world. So definitely hit up Babbs for anything that you need sign wise. We can't thank him enough. We are doing a portion of sales from roof signs and door wraps go to help fund the podcast. So tell him that we sent you. Next we got, I heard a voice. Next we got Hayes Performance. That is our new sponsor that we just picked up. Jeremy Hayes, he's Derby driver here locally. I was told last week that I say a lot. Now I am noticing every I say. Yeah. So I apologize. I'm going to try and do better. We'll see. But Jeremy's, gosh darn.
Jeremy's definitely good behind a wrench on a motor. I've seen him do everything from LS to small block, and I mean he goes from street use to toy use to whatever, So he's good behind a wrench, and there's a lot of guys around here that have products from him, and to say I'm impressed, that would be an understatement. There was a few down there at Sturgis, and I was definitely impressed. There's a bunch definitely here locally that we've seen, and hands down, he's doing a great job. So shout out to him. Any motor needs, no matter what. I mean, I'm talking diesel, gas, LS, small block Chevy, you name it.
Yeah,
he can turn a wrench on it. So happy to have.
Done.
Yeah, definitely happy to have Jeremy on with us. Super cool dude, super nice to talk to.
Yeah,
always goes out of his way. So any questions, anything like that, don't hesitate.
He's one of those that'll drop whatever he's doing just to turn out his product and make sure, even if it's not his product, show up and help.
Yes.
And actually how this sponsorship came about, he was out here picking up an Adrenaline Junkie t-shirt one day, and he's like, so what do we got to do for that? So it was just super cool to make that connection. He's been a friend to a lot of us. Him and Kenley's family are super close, so I'm sure that helped a lot. So we're really appreciative of all that. Let's go solar control. Window tinting. They're out of St. Anthony, Indiana. The owner, Trent, is one of my best friends. He's who I help on the race car throughout the season whenever I can. They do absolutely killer work. He can do anything from residential home windows to obviously car windows, truck windows, equipment. That top left picture is Salem Speedway. He did the press box there. They do remote starts. And everything he does is the cleanest thing I've ever seen. He's got one heck of a setup at his house that he works out of. So
definitely top of the line.
Yeah. Hit him up for any of those solar needs. We're working on a project with him. We'll have released out here soon that we're pretty excited about. I think it'll be a cool addition to the show.
It'll be a lot more fan interactive type stuff.
But I'm still working on some details through that, so we'll release that here before too long. There we go. Now you can see our ugly mugs. So last weekend, fellas and fellettes, Bourbon Beatdown. Twisted Metal Motorsports was one of.
That was the best Freedom Hall Derby I've watched.
Oh yeah.
No shade, no nothing towards anyone else, but from the track to the tech to the action on the track, I feel like that whole show kind of fell into place, even though not to say that it was rushed and tried to be cramped in there, but with the short amount of time he had, that show fell together very well. The cars showed up, the fans showed up, the track held up, action on the track was great, just all around. I think it was a pretty good show.
I thought the track was fantastic. It was hard enough to hold the cars, but it had enough to where the cars could actually grip without just blowing the tires off.
And it didn't matter what tire setup. I saw STAs, I saw recaps.
They had
23s, 25s, run flats. I mean, there was not a tire choice out there that, didn't do its job in some form or fashion, I don't think.
Yeah. I agree.
And knowing the time frame that they had from the time they got the date till the time the green flag dropped. I've done a little bit of promotions on my own at the county fair level, and I wouldn't want to put a derby on for locals for that, let alone have a stadium with thousands of people at it, getting all these cars from all over the country. I can't say anything bad about the show.
Yeah.
There's some aspects that could be improved, but if you're not looking to improve, aspects, you're not going to have a good show that's going to run.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of keyboard warriors afterwards that everyone has an opinion, and I can appreciate that. If you have an opinion, voice it. I mean, I'm never going to not hear someone out, but there's a lot of guys that just either A, weren't there, didn't see it firsthand, or B, were just completely out of line on a bunch of that stuff. And I saw a lot of negatives, but I promise the positives definitely way, way, way outweighed the negatives. And they've got a lot to build on.
Well, with it being 2 months out, and then what all they were able to get done. Now look at, they have a year until the next go around. So
it's exactly what I was about to say. I mean, for as quick of once he got the approval and he put everything together, as quick as everything went together, yeah, of course, any show that starts out for the first time, you've got the time period he had, or you have all kinds of time, there's going to be stuff that you're going to have to improve on. That's where once the show's over with, you look back and you're like, okay, we need to improve here, or we need to improve on whatever aspects. Everybody does that. Even the shows that have happened for years, there's still stuff that happens that they're like, okay, this coming year we got to improve on that. So for everybody that was hating on a lot of the show, I feel like for the time span that he had, I felt like it was a great show.
Yeah.
Well,
and go ahead.
You look into the live that they did after the show, they were just going through how everything went and stuff, and I think that they're open to hear people's opinions and grow from that as well.
Robbie's got definitely an open book on that type of stuff. He asked questions before, during, and after. He was wanting everyone's input. He was wanting to know what you thought, what you didn't think, what you want to see, what you don't want to see. Robbie's a very open book on anything he does, between his simple solution stuff to the promoting side to the helping any other aspect. He is the type of guy that will listen and take notes on everything, and he's a busy guy. I mean, you can't take that away from him. And back to the whole show itself. They had 4 events going on at that expo center in one weekend.
Yeah.
It was packed.
4. Think about that.
Cheerleading competition, Kentucky Beef Expo, the Home and Garden, and us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, logistically, that is impossible, and they pulled it off.
Yes.
And the biggest complaint I saw on Facebook was the crybabies about the enforcer car. And 90% of those comments were, oh, they should be allowed to hit it if it was on the track. Well, this is me ranting. This is not Adrenaline Junkie. This is me personally. Cody Smith says this all.
Here we go.
First off, look at the big picture about anything that you're getting ready to cry about on Facebook, no matter if it's about a derby or what. Just look at the big picture. If you don't know the big picture, there's probably a bigger picture there. In the driver's meeting, they said, do not hit the car. This is what it is here for. Anybody that has followed derbies for longer than 10 years knows that car has a purpose. It is brought back from something that was bigger than a local
It went
derby.
far. It went farther than derbies. That enforcer car was built from something completely bigger than derbies. It was sentimental, and it meant a lot to Robbie, and I know it still does. And it's got a dent on the door, but that's a dent on the door. That's a blemish on something you really love and you're passionate about, and you have a sentimental value about. Yeah. But like Cody was saying, it was told straight up in the driver's meeting, and I'm pretty sure I saw comments even before the derby. You will not be allowed to hit the enforcer car.
And it should be common sense. I mean, yes, I know your adrenaline's running whenever you're out there. You're doing stuff that you may not think that you're doing or froze. But doing stuff that you regret. I saw the guy that hit it. He apologized. He is very sorry that he did it. It was a heat in the moment thing. And I'm not dissing anything that he did. What my comments are about is the ones in the stands or that saw it on TikTok or Facebook or whatever that
they didn't know the whole deal of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they didn't know that Robbie handed the guy the money back after he paid the fine, because he was just trying to see if he was a man of his word and was going to stand up for the actions that he took.
And I think that speaks to Robbie's level too. He, even though he said, the fine is such and such amount of money. You will pay that if you hit the enforcer car, or you won't get your car back.
Yep.
Dude that did it apologized all over himself almost
We're
instantly.
frozen on yours too.
No, we're still moving on mine.
Okay, good.
And dude went to the trailer, got the cash, brought it back to Robbie. Robbie counted it out, said, "Here you go, man. Here's it back." And the dude was dumbfounded. And Robbie said, he said, "It makes me mad, but you're a man. You're a man of your word. You stood up to it. You brought me the cash. I'm not here to take anybody's money over a dent in the door. That's fixable. That's not that big of a deal." But it speaks to Robbie's level, because there was a lot of guys just bashing Robbie or just bashing that driver, and I think it speaks to a lot of the driver and Robbie, because they both stuck to their word, provided the money, took responsibility, and then Robbie turns around and rewards the guy for being a stand-up dude. So we are frozen on mine now.
Yeah.
Jordan's not, but we are.
There you go. You're back.
Okay.
So
But,
hopefully you guys heard some of that rant. If not, maybe the froze was intentional.
I could hear everything, even though you weren't able to move.
Yeah. And
But,
speaking of rants, I'm not even getting on the raffle car because
Yeah, that was just absurd and completely out of hand on the driver's part, but we'll leave it at that.
I watched I think we've all watched the demo podcast that they had. You got to see both sides of it. If you haven't, go watch that. You may get some clarity from it. I sure didn't, but
Yeah.
that is what it is. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, that's not something, until Robbie speaks on it, or, we hear from the driver or whatever, that's not something we can really talk about, in depth. But the people that were there that saw it, they know what happened. We'll leave it at that, and we'll let that be that. But
My boy Terry there. Hey,
So while we're still on the Robbie discussion, he's released several of his fair dates. I guess Robbie and Andrew. Several of his fair dates with Twisted Metal Motorsports. I'm going to try and hit as many of those as I can just to go support Robbie. I know that I won't have a car at any of them unless somehow I hit the lottery that I've quit playing. But whatever. Check out his shows. He's got a fall show that's to be determined. There's some rumors about what it could be. Devin's touched one in the comments. We've heard several different things, but until that's announced,
Robbie's got a full summer, so just pay attention to the Twisted Metal Motorsports page, and pay attention to Robbie's, because Robbie, he posts a lot on there too. Even before it gets to the Twisted Metal page, there's a lot of info, dates, classes, rules, all that type of stuff on there as well.
Yep. Speaking of one of his many obligations, I got home Sunday and was bored laying on the couch. I went to simplesolutions.com and just compiled a cart together of everything I would need for a 4.6 to get from, I guess it wasn't Sunday. It must have been Monday because I was at your guys' house Sunday. But compiled everything from a wiring harness to a fuel cell to the water reservoir that has the sensor going to it, everything, the driver's door plate, all kinds of stuff. Put that cart together and it was less than $1,200. I didn't add headers. I've already got headers, but $1,200 you could have a simple solution set up, ready to go.
Now,
and the cool part with that is, if you find a car and it can drive and you throw all of that on there, you go out and you blow that thing up. Everything that you have on that you bought from Robbie, you can literally pull off and throw on the one that you got after that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
you
pretty much you buy that and it can go from car to car. It's not like every time that you put one together, you got to have all that. Now, if you want like two of them or whatever, that's fine. You can buy all that, but you can take one from every engine you put together.
And the worst thing about it would possibly be you got to change the alternator plug from car to car generation. And that's not hard.
and the crazy thing is to think about it too. We're talking about how relatively inexpensive it is to do that. Now look at how many of the cars that ran the stock class down there at Freedom Hall. I think there was maybe 3 or 4 metric GMs down there.
Yeah.
And 90% of the rest of those cars had his stuff on it. There was a few 302s and stuff I saw, but that stuff it's obviously in demand heavily.
Definitely.
Heavily.
Yep.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
he's the stuff he comes out with, it's crazy what you wouldn't expect a regular engine in them cars to be able to do what they will turn. But
yeah,
they'll hold up to quite a bit.
And take the abuse that they take.
Oh, they'll hold up to a lot.
And he's coming out with something new all the time. Like
all the time.
We've seen teasers of making a carbureted setup.
Yeah.
Like he's posted that. I know he's in the testings for that. That would be super cool. I just don't understand. I feel like our team is beyond busy 24/7. And then you look at somebody like Robbie. And you're like, how does he do what he does? How does he turn out the amount of stuff that he does, come up with new stuff, still be at every show, supporting every driver that has anything, let alone answering all the phone calls and text messages. And
he's big about, if he has a car in the shop, there is kids in his area that they want to get into the sport, and he invites them all over. And
I've seen a lot of that stuff.
He shows all them kids the steps to do, like step 1, step 2. He lets them work on the cars. He goes over it to make sure everything's right, but he's letting them get in there. All that's doing is helping for the kids in the sport that are going to just continue to come up.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of influencers, and there's a lot of people that, try to get the public's attention and put stuff out for, the guys that don't necessarily know everything that goes into this stuff. But there's no other, in my opinion, there is no other Robbies.
Yeah.
These influencers, they go to Derbies, they post the cool stuff, the highlights and all their reels and stuff. And I won't take nothing away from them, because that's a lot of work too in itself, and they do a lot of cool stuff. But it takes guys like Robbie that bring kids in, give them the tools, give them the knowledge, and do everything he can to go out of his way to make sure that the next generation has a chance.
Yeah. And bringing Freedom Hall back, him and Andrew didn't have to do that. They went into it knowing that they were losing money doing this, but because that is such an iconic venue.
But boy, glad they brought it back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like, I can't thank them enough for it. Like, I don't know if they're glad they brought it back with all the headaches they've had with it, but
as somebody that's pulled on that track, pulling down the ramp through that tunnel is awesome. So to know
it gave me goosebumps.
Oh, dude, to know
I'm getting them right now.
to know that you got somebody now that's brought it back, and this show just went over good, and it's going to happen again. It's awesome.
Yeah, and it wasn't even back a week, and they're already planning for next year.
Yes.
They're working out the details on how to make it better for next year, and just I'm amazed by the amount of work and everything that they put in.
Just like exactly what you all said, Robbie is one of the main guys. He wants to hear everything that everybody has to say. If there's something that you didn't like, or you think he can improve on, he wants to hear it, because he'll do whatever he can to improve it.
And not just hearing guys out, but talking to the guys. I'm gonna throw the hard-nosed Derby podcast guys out there. He talked to them the Sunday after. They were all in the same hotel room, and I actually listened to those guys this week. And he was being blunt, honest, and truthful about it all. And it takes, if guys like the hard-nosed guys, us, anyone else can, if there are more Robbies out there that can talk and tell and listen and do anything, it just takes a lot of guys to make this as big as it needs to be. And I think for the most part, it's headed in the right direction. Yeah. Not just for that show, but for all the others as well.
Yeah.
Speaking of the hard-nosed guys,
they cracked me up.
Dude, I got
so jealous when you sent that picture. I was like, We never got to see him.
So I talked to Steven before, not really Derek, but I talked to him before a few times, and then I was walking out of the tunnel, and I was like, oh my God, that's Steven right there, you know? And I looked up at him, and he just looked back at me, and he was like, he just grinned ear to ear, and I'm like, dude, I know who you are. And he was like, I'm pretty sure I know who you are. And I was like, you know,
That's terrifying.
It was cool. It was really cool. The hard-nosed guys are really cool. Steven, one of the nicest dudes you'll meet, usually has something funny to say about any situation. But like I said, it was super cool to meet those guys, and you know they've gave us a couple shout outs, and you know I look forward to talking with them some more, and you know seeing those guys in the future, and it goes a long way when you know there's guys like Steven and Derek that you know they're for the sport, and everybody else that's involved with the sport, they will help everyone, you know, and it's just super cool. You'll meet super cool guys.
So before we move on, we've been mentioned a few times by Hard Nose. Robbie mentioned us on demo this week. It's stuff like that fuels our fire.
Yes.
Like knowing that our word is getting out there, and we're not in this for ourselves. That's why we don't come in and say we're so and so. Like
look at me, look at us, look at what we do.
We do this as a team to promote the sport. We don't care about it individually. Like we're doing this for the show.
The names and the faces behind the cameras and the microphones mean very little compared to what we want to be listened to.
All we're trying to do is spread. And if you're not from our area, and we can be like have somebody talk about us, and you then tune in, all that's doing is letting. If you're not from this area, you get to hear our content and hear stuff about what's going on in our area. And then we get to hear what everybody out there is doing. It's just, I like how everybody's kind of in on it together. It's not like, hey, we got a podcast.
We're not competing.
Yeah.
Right. We're like, our podcast, we're not going to talk about you. Like, we talk about them, they talk about us. It spreads the word for everybody.
Yep.
There's a lot more gets done, said, learned, and seen when everyone's working together instead of being more worried about competing against each other.
And we will.
Somebody got to cook today.
I'm ready. So
I told you last night that was not a good idea on how to start the day, but
you know.
But yeah, so we are all in the sport. Jarrett is probably the heaviest right now. I've stepped back trying to get my house and everything ready so I can build a shop. I will be back in the car eventually. Jordan's doing home remodel stuff. We'll be back in the car this year. And Kinley will follow soon, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
May have some additional drivers in the field.
Quit.
But we'll see. But we do want to cover some of that stuff. I know we started off the show when we initially started this. I wanted it to be more interactive at the track and stuff. We've regrouped. I think we're going to try and focus more on the show and not building.
What we're saying is we're not going to overstep boundaries on anyone else. You know, there's guys that want to go video the whole show or, you know, whatever. You do that. That's cool.
Yeah.
There's guys that want to do the interviews before and the GoPros during, and that's fine. We're not going to overstep that boundary. We want to stay in our lane and be the most effective we can by staying in our lane, focusing on the big picture and bringing information to everyone out there.
Yeah.
In simple terms. And we can go ahead and we can probably just go ahead and leave it at that one unless Jordan, you want to put anything in on that one?
No, I was pretty much just going to add I was pretty much just going to add to exactly what you said. I mean, it kind of goes back to what I said. We're all in this kind of as a group. We're not trying to step on anybody else or do what anybody else is. So,
yes,
we all had this discussion at your house last weekend, and I feel like as a group, this is our best way to kind of do what we're trying to do. The cool part on all of it, though, is we have got a few shout-outs and stuff, which coming from a group of people that we put this together to get together, hang out, and talk about this. We never thought it would go to anything even remotely close to where we have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We was talking about that last week. When we started this, okay, we're on episode 8, so 16 weeks ago, 17, 16, whatever. It was a fun idea. We thought we'll have
It
some
was
fun
just
with it.
something to pass the time.
Yeah,
You know,
like
really.
it's winter. We want to be in the
Yeah.
garage, but it's cold, so we'll find something.
And it was
We started
an excuse for us all to hang out.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was gonna say, I think what I like so much about it is y'all basically are just doing what you would do in normal life, but
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
recording it.
Yeah.
Like that's all that's extra.
you want the blunt truth and the things we think and the things we do and see. You're gonna get it right here from us, you know.
Even if you meet me. But yeah, I see Team Fields in the house. We appreciate you guys tuning in always. They got some cool videos from down there. So
Yeah, thank you for all the stuff with my dad and brother.
Yeah.
They were pretty cool.
we've talked about bourbon, but we didn't talk about bourbon.
Yeah. We'll put a cap on that one and then we'll go back to the actual bourbon show itself. I don't know that I can sit there and pick out my favorite thing from the whole weekend.
I can't either. So there was a lot of hard hitting. They stayed on it. Enforcer car was there to do its job. I've never seen the remove 2 lug nuts deal.
Mm-mm.
I thought that was different.
I had, but personal opinion, not a fan. Because I would have not even one lug nut on any of my wheels. But
You said it this time, not us.
The only,
I think he's learned.
I just gotta get that one out of the way.
the only bad thing I have to say about the removing the lug nuts is you had to stop the show to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
the enforcer, they could pull out there while the show was still going on. You didn't disrupt anything. There was a time or two we were up there in the stands, we're watching, and not everybody, obviously, because they stopped it to pull some off of whoever, but the pace had picked up and stuff was starting to get wild. And then they singled out that one car and they pulled 2 off. Not saying it's not a good idea, but I feel like it just kind of, then they stopped it and then everybody kind of calmed back down. But
Yeah.
they stayed on everybody and then the pace picked right back up. There was definitely no times that the pace wasn't like, if everything got a little bit slow, they were on it. And
Yeah.
they were telling everybody you had to hit.
They had the laser pointers and the flashlights going
Mhm.
almost the
Oh, yeah.
whole night.
Everybody
didn't drop the
knew
ball on that one.
if they were on you about hitting, you knew it. There was no, oh well, I didn't see them like on me or whatever. No.
Yeah.
You knew for sure they were on you.
And most of the night, you didn't know which direction to look. If you're looking at the far side of the track, you're missing something on the near side. And it was
Exactly.
just back and forth.
Mhm.
And where do I watch?
Where do I hold the camera?
Yeah. We got that cool rollover video.
Yeah.
That one.
We was all celebrating in the stands whenever we got that.
It literally happened, and I screamed, "Please tell me you got that one, Tony." He goes, "Oh, I got it."
And I actually got it that time,
Yeah.
not the
Yeah.
other 3 incidences that I thought I had and I didn't. It's one heck of a show.
Super cool.
Cool seeing people. Patrick Rankin, whenever he got out, first thing he did was throw on his Adrenaline Junkies hoodie. So seeing that
Awesome.
from the stands, I was like,
Oh yeah.
that's my boy.
And shout out to Patrick. He wheeled, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's a mini car guy, but he got
You
in that
never would
big
have guessed
car,
it last night
Mm-mm.
and he literally just
or last weekend.
he
Whatever.
literally just drove it like he knew what he was doing. Did a great job. Patrick's a great dude. So shout
Yeah.
out to Patrick for
Yeah,
sure.
we're extremely
100%.
appreciative of his support, and it was cool seeing the family love between him and his daughter there, and they both had our hoodies on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to get pictures of them down there right afterwards, and every time you could tell Patrick had just got out of a derby car because he was panting, had mud running down his face.
Yeah.
I saved you those pictures, buddy. They were not post worthy.
You'll see him at some point.
I think they're gone for
Yeah.
good, but it's so cool seeing our stuff out there, knowing that we are making a small impact in the sport.
We want to hit on the winners of that class. They had Garen Waters. He's actually somewhat local to us down there in Brandenburg, I believe, and he won. I mean, I'll say that he won. He drove very smart, and it's not very often you can beat the Kangaroo. And I would be lying if I said my money wasn't on the Kangaroo.
When it got down top 3, I was still like, I don't know.
It could be close,
because Denny, I swear he can pull gold out of
any situation. You never count him out.
No.
Until they tell him he's out. Never count him out.
Yeah,
he was chugging right along somehow. I don't know how that little motor held on, but
and he drove too. Denny drove.
Yeah.
I mean, he was handing out 50-footers, and he was doing very good.
And
so
Joel's doing the same. I mean,
Joel drove very hard,
destroying stuff, and we're frozen.
Yeah, he was. I was impressed by that class. The level of talent. I mean, that class was stacked. I mean, very stacked, to say the least.
From top to bottom. I mean, from the time the green flag dropped, it was just chaos. Like,
I feel like whenever they rolled out, you didn't really know for sure who was going to pull that one out. I mean, there was a lot of drivers that could have easily pulled that one out. Like,
I didn't notice. Patrick said he got 2 lug nuts taken off as well.
I never saw that.
I didn't see that either.
It's all right, Patrick. We won't hold it against you.
I'd have probably moved whenever they did that, but it's fine. But yeah, it was a great show. Great seeing people. We had friends from all over there. Just being able to spend some time with all of them was pretty cool.
Got to see a lot of familiar faces again.
Yep. See our buddy Wesley from Outlaw Edits.
Yes.
We'll be with him.
Speaking of him, he got me a good one. I was driving that car to Tech, and he got me a good picture. I look like a dweeb, but it just looks slick. So as always, Wesley, great work. He jumped straight back to another show this weekend.
Yep.
Didn't sit still for 2 days.
Shelbyville, Tennessee.
Yep.
Where he was at? Another indoor show.
Yep.
I'd never heard of it until I saw it down there. Do what?
Old school class was rocking too.
Really?
Yeah. Speaking of shows this weekend, Rouse had the Coliseum Derby. Seen some highlights from it. Looks like it was pretty wild. Billy Woodward got 4th.
I've seen a lot of clips and stuff, and it looked like a very action-packed show and a lot of very competitive cars. I was reading some comments. There was some negative stuff. I don't know, and won't even head down that road because wasn't there, didn't watch it, don't know. But all in all, you can't say it's a bad experience if you and all your buddies are at a derby track.
Yeah.
Any trip to the track with your buddies is a good one, whether the outcome's good, bad, or indifferent.
Yeah, I wish I could have made it up to that because monster trucks and derby cars in the same weekend, I'd have probably just jumped in one of the rigs and just kept on riding with them.
That's right.
But yeah, it's super cool seeing that combo up there.
Yeah, my buddy Nick Stewart from up in Michigan, northern Indiana, Michigan area, he pulled that one out. And
was that the guy that bought the parts?
Yeah, we talked to him.
Okay.
I sent him with some stickers and stuff. Nick's super cool dude. He was wheeling a Rivy. I saw some pictures before, and I thought, oh, boy. I said, man, he's pulling at the heartstrings with that one, and then he won the thing. So shout out to Nick on the win on that one, too.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He got Jordan, seen Buchanan, got the
stock class.
Stock class.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we forgot about Capital City Carnage. That was last weekend, too. Tons of highlights down there.
Yeah, no kidding.
From the Smash It guys. Just nonstop action down there.
Dude, I watched part of that, and from the team heats to the singles classes, those guys were laying the root the whole time.
And it was also cool being at Bourbon. I know I heard several people talking about it being like, oh, NLR's in the Conti. NLR's in the Conti.
Yeah.
And then a couple hours later, they made it.
Yeah.
Then they end up turning around and winning it. So it's super cool seeing the downfall of the weekend turn into the highest of highs for the weekend.
Yeah.
Me and Jordan were talking about it last night while we was trying to figure out how to do this whole guest thing. So that team has won that show.
I don't even want to talk about
the
it.
same exact group won Bristol.
Yep.
Like, they're doing it right.
That's a hell of a team.
I know they've won at least one or two more in the past year.
Yep, that's a hell
Those
of a
guys
team.
are, I'm telling you, man, they have got that slap figured out.
Yeah. So we've kind of been having a discussion about how we want these shows laid out. Been talking about, do we do all just updates or do we throw in a topic in there? We was asking people at the show last week what their thoughts of it were, just trying to get some criticism. They like the topic. So I feel like this week would be the perfect opportunity to talk about driving styles, differences between a solo and a team show.
That's deep.
I've not ran a team show. I've driven with buddies on the track, and it kind of works the same aspect, but it's different. Jordan's driven in both. Jarrett's driven in both. Me and Kinley were solos. So what's your guys' take? What's the difference between driving by yourself versus when you've got teammates out there that are dedicated to work with you?
Jordan can go first.
Jordan's gone.
Jordan's out there.
Okay, I'll go. It's a whole different ball game, to say the least. I've only done a team deal once, but it's also different when there's heats and a feature too. You got to throw that in there too. But I feel like Spring X coming up, it's probably going to be a little bit different, knowing it's a one and done. But you're going in there in a team event knowing you're literally going to be throwing hands back and forth with someone, versus when it's a so-called singles event. You're out there and that takes the whole, conservative wheel and dealing type of thing. That's when you're trying to, really drive. Heat still way more fast paced. You're getting ready to throw hands with guys, and you kind of just got to let it all hang out and just hope the cards fall in your direction. But I don't know that I necessarily have one preference over the other. Do I like to be in control and not have nobody depending on me, I guess? Yeah. Nobody wants to be the guy that goes out there and freaking, falls on his face and then just doesn't do nothing. But
I also like stress involved whenever you're not just letting yourself down, you're letting your teammates down.
I'd feel a whole lot better. I'd feel a whole lot better if I let myself down and just looked like an idiot for myself versus going out there, dropping the ball and then just looking like a complete idiot for your other two teammates as well. Yeah. It just you have a whole different respect for a team event, especially when it comes to building, driving on the track, getting a thing put back together, go back on the track. It's really just a whole different ball game, and
I think having somebody you can count on a team event is also, a positive. It can also be a negative if you are the one that's sitting on the wall watching your buddy get piled on. But I would love to drive in a team event. But yes, Boston, we will be at Spring X. Most of it.
I'll be there Thursday. So if anything needs dropped off, I'll be there.
I'll be up Friday and Saturday.
Yep, we'll be there the whole time.
But yeah, Jordan, you got any input on driving solo versus team?
The team deal is a completely different. When you drive solo, you're trying to kind of save your car or do what you can. And when you're on a team, it's you against that other team. So you got to take them out right now. So it's more of I would say, as soon as the green flag drops, you got to take that other team out. You want to try to take them out as quick as you can. And the way we did it the one year we ran was everybody picks one other driver. So everybody on your team picks one other guy, and you work on that guy until hopefully you get him out. And then once you get him out, then you all can go against the other guys.
And then it's a number game.
Mm-hmm.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I think it's super cool. Just the differences in the sport. We're doing the same sport every time we go out there. But
there's always the same end goal: win.
Oh yeah.
But the different changes, even like we're getting ready to talk about Sturgis. They've got the indoor, they had the outdoor, the solo versus the team show. There's so many different aspects that can go into it and be in the same location and doing the same activity.
Even looking at it with a co-pilot deal too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That is a completely different experience, and I think there's a lot more. I think that goes back to the same thing as the team show deal did. You got a lot more riding on it when you know someone's depending on you to do your job in the passenger seat, and the passenger seat's hoping the driver's seat does his job.
Yeah.
It's just
me and Dad's had the discussion several times on whose driving style would outpower the other in a co-pilot class. Obviously, it's going to be the gas that reacts and fires it.
The steering wheel's just got to be able to point in the right direction and go.
Yep. It's just super cool thinking about the different aspects of it. Yeah. So speaking of Wicked.
We'll go into upcoming events.
Couple weeks, March 21st, 22nd, we'll be down with our Wicked friends at the Wicked Team Show. We do heats on Friday night. There it is again. Gates open Friday at 7 a.m., tech 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Show starts 6 p.m. So that'll be mini and full size. We will be there set up, hanging out. Me, Jordan, and Kinley will be there hopefully early Friday, depending on work schedules. But we'll be there as much as we can. We'll definitely be there before show starts. Saturday, gates open at 7 a.m. Team show re-inspection is 8 a.m. to 1. One and done tech is 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Consolation will start at 3. Main event at 5. So the one and dones, I know I put it on there. I didn't put it on there.
Yeah. But they're running the same. They're running the same as they always do down there for the one and dones. I know there's a co-pilot class and
co-pilot.
I think there's a singles bone stock class as well. So
It'll
it's
be a singles bone stock, and then they're bringing the metric weld class back too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Wicked Weld, any of your bone stock, and co-pilots 80 and up. Power Wheels will be Saturday before the big show in the arena. So that'll be cool to see. It's always fun seeing those little ones get excited. And
I'm gonna tell you what, when we were down there
put together for.
Yeah, when we were down there in January, there was a few of them Power Wheels that would straight get it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like reverse the drive, standing it up on its back. Like, okay, like they're not playing around.
They mean business.
Oh yeah, it was wild. So Madeline and Austin have been super awesome to us. Austin just ran Mississippi last weekend too. We didn't even talk about that, but he was down running himself.
I think team shows. There's gonna be a lot to look forward to on that one. That one's gonna be everything it's hyped up to be.
Oh yeah, the call out we've already seen. We kind of talked on that a couple episodes ago, I believe. If you haven't seen those, we'll be sure to reshare them on our page. I know they're on the Wicked page. The mini cars are still being called out. The ones that haven't had a call out will be drawn. I don't know if they do that the day of or how that works, but
I think
they usually do that. They usually do that during the drivers' meeting.
Okay.
I don't know if it's changed any. When we ran it, there was envelopes with every team in it, and they threw all of them on the ground. And then I don't remember how they picked who went and got it, but each team captain would go out and pick one up, and whatever team was in that, that's who you had.
that's cool. That's real
So
cool.
it keeps it completely. It's not any politics or anything like that. It's just whoever you pick.
Luck of the draw.
Yep.
someone's
Which
someone's
obviously call outs kind of take care of that. I mean,
Yeah. And I've never seen a show where every team has a call out.
Mm-mm.
No.
And
Crazy.
I know they haven't had it down there. We was talking last night and last weekend both about how we know the first heat and the last heat are going to be absolutely epic just because of the drama and who is on those teams.
Those are going to be barn burners.
Yeah. And the strategic placement of them being first and last is
Because
perfect.
you got 8 guys on each of those two, in each of those 2 heats. You got 8 guys that will literally burn it to the ground. And
they are literally talking about how they fully know going into this, they're going to waste a car in the heat.
Yep.
They know they are. They're perfectly okay with it.
I think it was Harry Hatton had a snap on there like 2 weeks ago. He's got his car almost done, and he said, I've never put a car together knowing that I'm going to junk it as soon as I go out there.
And we as fans appreciate you, sir.
Oh,
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yep. We're super excited to be down there. It's the whole hype behind it, of the call outs, stuff that's been fueling since the Wicked War Zone.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it was before that, but that's when it hit the face of books of faces.
Yeah.
But we're super excited to be there. We'll be on Vendor Row, we believe, down there hanging out. We're going to take the whole mic setup. I know we've got one interview planned, but we want to do a bunch more. So come see us, come hang out. We'll have merch.
Shirts, hoodies. You all just stop by, come see us.
Yep.
We'll be there.
Bring a koozie and
Yep.
stuff that goes inside of those.
Prepare to sit and talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's something I got to add is more seating to take with us. I don't have any of that on my
Now
list.
let's just hope that it's not extremely cold or doing anything crazy outside.
The weather for the next week and part
Looks
of next
good.
week looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So if
I
we
would
can keep
take,
going in that direction,
I would take about a 65 degrees outside down there for the team show.
Yep.
yes.
Let everybody in the pitch, consume a few sweet teas, if you get what I'm saying, and let this thing get wild.
I
Yeah.
think this is the first episode we haven't seen Jordan sipping on something. I think he started too early today.
Yeah. He's been
laying shark in it.
He's been taking care of those.
Madeline, I did my part. I was knocking. I'm trying to knock all those conspiracies out that somebody had to bring up. But yeah, we're super excited to be down there. We're almost packed. I'm gonna once we're done with the show, I'm gonna do a mock setup of our booth, tent, hangout area, whatever it is. Trying to figure out some last minute things we got to pack and be ready to be southbound and down.
In just a few weeks.
Yep.
That's coming up quick. Good Lord.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to think about how fast time's flying. Jesus.
Yeah, Jay's got a car to finish for Spring X, which is coming up in April. We kind of touched on that, but 9th through the 12th, team show down there. You run on Saturday.
Should be Saturday. Yes.
So
Yeah, we're quickly running out of time on that one. I just pumped one out for Freedom Hall in 19 days. And it's probably going to be even shorter to pump this other one out.
and that car was beautiful.
I don't know. It was.
I think it was the paint job, but
Oh,
Shout
it's
out
pretty before.
Caitlin on the paint job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm already
Because
planning
he
the
sent
painting for
me-
my car.
He sent me a snap late. What was that? Like
Thursday night. Yeah.
Yeah, Thursday night. And I opened it, and my first response was not even anything on the car. Just the first response was, "Who painted that?" I said, "I know
He
you are
said-
not
yeah,
artistic enough."
he said, I know
You didn't
you.
even want
no.
me to paint it.
I didn't. I thought the car was just going to be cool, no paint. But I'm glad she painted it.
that
now,
crown
'cause
down the side,
It
it
looks
was like
sweet.
the cherry on top.
Yeah.
He sent that, and I'm like, "I know you're not artistic enough for that. So who did you get to do that?" And he's like, "She did it." I was like, "Turned out
She better
slick."
be practicing painting adrenaline junkies.
Yeah.
Hey,
That needs to be the next
I'm ready
road
to
on the floor.
go. Yeah.
I walked in their house Sunday, and she'd been practicing some of her drawing, and she'd done Richey 332. And I looked over; it was laying in front of their front door, and it was on brown, like not construction paper, but like
Kind
a
of.
wrapping
Yeah.
paper kind of size paper. And I looked over, and I was like, "This guy, he done went and got a road made with his name and number on it."
I wouldn't run it past them, but
But After thinking about it, it would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So if you get into painting rugs, we'll take an address. One of those. But yeah,
if you get into painting rugs, I'll take one for sure.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind.
there you go.
Oh, yeah.
There's a
that's
blank one right
perfect.
there. We'll quit laser engraving. We'll just start painting rugs.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're super excited about all the stuff coming up. We got Wicked Team Show in two weeks, 21st and 22nd of March. Spring X, beginning of April, 2 weeks after.
Yeah.
Roughly.
Yeah, beginning of April. And then you move forward, the first 907 Derby at Paoli is the 26th.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
It's all coming.
that's coming up quick too.
Yeah,
You turn around right after the run at Paoli. Toast has
River City
Mm-hmm.
in the new location.
at Terre Haute.
Yep.
Great spot. I think that was a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Plenty
that
of
venue
places
itself is
to-
huge. Like,
Yeah, the whole place is huge. Cody, you and I have toured the whole place, I think.
it's not made for golf carts in some areas. Sorry, Pops. But yeah,
I mean, there's plenty of places to eat. There's plenty of places to stay. I mean, it's a great place.
yeah. If you need parts for your pickup to fix it while you're there, parts stores right down the road.
There's
Done that in the parking lot
O'Reilly's,
there.
Cody, there's a Qdoba like straight across the street.
Why didn't we go there?
There's a Chick-fil-A
Chick-fil-A.
literally like
On the property, but
yes, yeah, it's right.
Yeah, it's
not. They cut a corner of the property out for
Yeah.
the Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
street, and the Qdoba is like catty corner. Cody, we did hit the Qdoba
No comment.
after you went to get the parts for your truck. We got Qdoba.
Oh yeah, we did. I do remember that. That was early in the day.
Yeah.
No excuses.
That was
one.
after we helped this other guy put his car back together.
That was a rough one.
No, that was the next day.
Yeah, that's right.
That was the next morning because we woke up with
Whoa.
don't.
Yeah,
and it
either
wasn't
way.
our heart beating
Yeah.
every
I don't
time.
know if that. I'm not sure if that pounding was the sledgehammers on his car or my head.
Yeah, I think I was off sync with it because it felt like it never stopped. It was just a thud constant. But yeah, Paoli, April 26th. We're going to have the Gut and Go remastered, Mini Madness and Pro Stock. Cross is opening that up to allow some of the bourbon cars to have a place to run. So I'm just going to read what he posted. So hopefully only my tongue twisters will screw me up and not my memory. He said, rule adjustments for this year, read thoroughly. This is to allow bourbon cars to pass tech. All other rules are the same besides what I mentioned. Number 1, A-arm straps are to be 2x2, not 3x6. Number 2, patch plates can now be 4x6. Number 3, no rear window bars. Number 4, no belly wire. Number 5, 74 or 76 style replica bumpers are allowed. I don't know what number. The next one.
No ponies allowed.
No replica ponies.
You can have a replica 74 or 76 Impala bumper, but he does not want ponies. No replica ponies. None of those.
Yeah.
He said that's just basically based off of what Bourbon had. You can have ponies down.
Next, 4 total body bolts can be changed. Core support plus 2 more is how that's supposed to be read. Fresh cars get 4 pre-ran.
Six plates on pre-rans and 4 on the fresh cars.
Yeah.
Which I think that helps a lot too, because there was, Robbie's whole concept down there was to have guys have cars that you could run for a while and you'd still have a car left. Well, guess what? Guys have cars left, and Cross is accommodating for that and allowing the patch plates necessary and not taking it too far out of range. He's pulling back on the reins and making sure a guy can fix a car and a guy can come to his show. So I think that goes a long way.
He's corrected my tongue twister.
Yeah.
Pro stock, if you don't have a trans brace, you get A-arm kickers. If you do have a trans brace, good Lord, you do not get kickers. All other rules
for you to say.
Yeah, right. Minis 4x6 plates. So that's pretty cool that he's accommodating to them.
Definitely.
Bringing more of a diverse crowd in, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Denny Cameron earlier, he's on here.
Yeah, it was good seeing you too, buddy. We
Yes,
always
sir.
love when we run into you. Even
Hey,
if
if we can actually get our schedules together and be at Paca at the same time, I'll bring you some stuff. I've tried.
we'll see him at the track before.
Yeah.
Before.
Yeah,
late
but
season,
we talked about this at the track up there. I've tried to.
and we won't get an invite.
Yeah, I'm sure we won't get an invite because this guy. Rude.
Perfect time to freeze.
First off, I'm pretty sure my mom is still in here. You're always invited on the boat. You can ask mom.
I didn't have a bed there for like 4 years.
As a matter of
Sure.
fact, Jared, you had an invite. You had to work.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Every time I have something fun or can, actually go have fun and not be turning a wrench or pushing dirt, I always have to work.
End up pushing dirt.
I end up pushing dirt. Every time.
My papers are out of
But
whack. But we did have 1,000 followers hit the TikTok.
yeah, I
That's
saw
pretty
that.
exciting. I'll do a live separately on there to do the giveaway because I was not prepared. So
We're just throwing giveaways
I
out there,
know.
but the people want it. People keep coming. You keep liking, following, sharing. The more of that, the more you're going to get given out.
Yeah.
I mean, you reward us, we're going to reward you just as much. So,
just proof we're not in it to make money.
No
'cause I'm
kidding.
giving all of our money away.
yeah. So we appreciate everybody, from the TikToks to the Facebook or even going to our website. The guys messaging all of us, messaging the page. That goes a long ways, and that does a lot for us. That keeps us hungry and wanting to go back for some more and do more and keep at it with this thing.
Yep. We're enjoying it. Yeah. Jordan, you got any closing remarks?
It has been a wild last, 2 months, and it's only going to get crazier from here because now
It's starting to get worse.
starting
Starting to
to
get even more crazy.
it's that time of the year. We've done changed time, and the weather's starting to heat up a little bit. It's time to crash some stuff.
Definitely.
Yeah, that messed me up last night. I was still up working on trying to get stuff ready for today, and I looked at my phone, and it was 1:30, and I look at it again, and it's 3:30. I'm like, what? I know I haven't been working that long.
We got up here today, and our phones were updated, but the clock on the stove and everything was not, and we were all confused.
Yeah, well, I don't even
my
want-
comments just updated. Mama Dana's inviting me. Sorry, Jaybird.
He's invited too.
No.
You were invited before. You just had to work.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, Powder Puff is going to be a doozy.
Yeah, I think I'm more excited for that than I am the actual show now.
Cross knows what he's talking about when he says it's going to be a doozy. He knows the tea. He knows what's going on. So yeah, we'll see when Madison gets here. I don't know.
So
Let
when
the
we go-
ladies have some fun with it.
I think we need an adrenaline junkie garage day and start building cars.
I think
Currently,
so, too.
I have 3 cars stacked in my garage right
Well,
now.
2 of those are on the downhill climb, so
Mhm.
we just got 1 going up and then 1 ready to.
Literally
Start.
getting ready to go in as soon as I can get the third one out.
Next weekend.
Literally turned my garage from a freaking normal garage to a freaking full-time derby car building garage.
Wait, when we hit the lottery, we'll have a compound, and none of us will have jobs. We'll be full time, even though you called the first to retire. The baby.
Oh, I am going to be if this ever gets to the point where any of us can quit our day job, I promise I will be the first one to quit my
I'm
day
handing over a lot of responsibility.
Anybody that goes to the show for the Powder Puff, if you all want comedy, watch me and Jarrett on the sidelines while that is happening.
Yes.
And I'll be back there.
That will probably be the there's people are gonna be looking at us like, what in the world are these 2 guys doing?
I think they
just
need to
watch
do
us.
the-
You'll get a
the
full
pig
show.
chase for that class too.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know what the prize would be, but
I don't know about that.
I saw somebody was giving away 2 potbelly pigs on Facebook
Oh my
earlier.
gosh.
Oh, good Lord.
I sent him to Cross and I said, "Here you go." But yeah, we're super excited about what's coming up. We can't thank you guys enough for the support. As always, hit us up with any comments you guys got. We're always glad to hear it. We've got merch, 13 powder puffs.
That's what I saw.
13. That's exciting.
There will probably be more show up too.
Absolutely.
And that,
Guarantee
see,
it.
that's what I was going to say. That's only the ones that have said for sure they're coming. I feel like
Yeah.
you're going to have a few that are going to decide a few weeks before and just kind of show it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or who can sweet talk somebody into letting them drive their
Dad,
car.
dad,
today,
brother, boyfriend,
yeah.
husband into
True.
just throwing them in one.
Yep.
True.
But yeah, we'll see y'all
We appreciate it.
March 21st, 22nd at Wicked Team Show. We'll have all the merch. We never did get our guest appearance that we was promised.
Oh, he's
And my soap, my body wash.
he's in the bathroom.
Okay.
On that note,
It was good seeing y'all. See
Yeah,
you soon.
we'll
Hit
see
us
y'all
up
in
for
the next
merch.
one.
Tell us all your comments.
Good or bad, we don't care.
Just keep the body wash to yourself.
We'll see y'all later.
See y'all later.